We are off to the drafts. I will be reading your comments, Nurgles, about time banks, but I might not respond to them. Karn is in this pack. It is pretty much. It is pretty much an Ugin light. It's not as good as Ugin, I don't think, but Karn is like the best pick in Legacy Cube, and he's not the best pick in Vintage Cube, but he still comes in pretty hot. Phyrexian Metamorph is sweet. There's also some lands, but I don't think any of these cards in particular are that close in power level to Karn. So we'll grab Karn, and that does mean that we once again want to focus on signets and things. I don't think aggro is worse than control, but it's not as fun. You get to do some big splashy things in Vintage Cube, and if you just take the Goblin Guides out of the pack, then you don't get to do those big splashy things. Strip Mine is good, but I don't think Strip Mine is as powerful as Karn. Strip Mine is, I think, I don't know. It's a little overrated. Like, it's not actually better than Wasteland, because when are you going to strip mine a basic island in a format like this? Pretty much never. I mean, I guess you can cut them off a splash color. That's kind of reasonable. Pithing Needle I actually think is pretty good in this cube right now. What else do we get? Torrential Gear Hulk for some random flashback. We could take Sylvan Library. Yeah, killing people is good, but so is some long, drawn-out, dirtily stuff where we Sylvan Library and Torrential Gear Hulk. I'm looking at Gear Hulk, Ulamog, and Library, and I think it's between Ulamog and Library. I think I'm going to grab Ulamog here, though. This guy's pretty solid, and there's a lot of things that you can do with him in every color, pretty much. I am going to take Bribery, because the last time I drafted an Ulamog deck, I died to Library, like, super, super hard. I played an Ulamog draft. You can check it out on my YouTube channel. But I did an Ulamog draft the other night, and round 1, I lost a game to Bribery. Round 2, I lost a game to a fucking Phyrexian Metamorph copying my Ulamog, and then I couldn't attack into it because my opponent had 2 lethal attackers, and then I got milled. So, or no, I did attack into it, and then they attacked me back and they milled me. So yeah, I'm definitely going to take Bribery here. The card is just way too powerful to pass up. Ulamog is definitely below Ugin in power level, but it is strong in that if you actually get to cast it, it will exile 2 permanents, so it can come down and kind of protect itself in the same way that you would need something like a Planeswalker to be able to do. Wrath of God is pretty strong. We go Lodestone Golem and just go all in on colorless theme. I really like Wrath of God, but I fear we might not be playing white. So I'm going to take Looter Ilkur. Duplicate's also really good. Looter Ilkur is just a good control card. And it's good with different reanimation strategies and weird shit like that. So there's a lot of interesting things that we can do with Looter Ilkur. Being a creature is a little bit worse than being a Planeswalker. However, being an indestructible creature kind of makes up for that. It can still get Swords to Plowshares and other things like that, but it can't get Murderous Cutted. So here's where we kind of make the choice between Izzet Charm or Llanowar Elves. I think I'm going to grab Llanowar Elves. We might not play it, but it's a really powerful card in my opinion. There's also Goblin Welder, but I'm pretty happy to be able to pick up a Llanowar Elves here. I like that card a whole bunch. We could take Anticipate as a way to kind of smooth out our draws a little bit more. What else is there in this pack? Not really anything. Taiga works if we go Rug, so maybe I'll just take Taiga. Yeah, I guess I'll just take a land here. Sort by converted mana cost again. Alrighty. So we took Taiga, though Entomb does work with Ulamog. So maybe we try that thing again, where we try reanimating an Ulamog and killing our opponents with that. Most powerful colors in Vintage Cube, I would say blue definitely is first, and I would also put blue second, third, and fourth. I know white is the least powerful color. You definitely want to be in blue, though. Blue is just so strong. This card isn't super powerful. I think red generally opens you up to more fun stuff. And I think green and black are both generally pretty powerful. Let's take a Hollowed Fountain. I'm not sure what that pick was supposed to be there, but we can grab a Hollowed Fountain. Anyways. Yeah, both of these lands give us white mana, but what are we really going to do with white mana? The main thing that you can do with a Hollowed Fountain is play like a Windswept Heath. I guess I'll take a Disenchant. Don't think I'm super likely to try to play it, but it's a fine card. Gush is also okay. Terminate is pretty meh. Let's take a Temple. I think there's a chance I wander into Bug here. Bug and Grixis are both options, I suppose. I don't like any of these cards that I've been seeing. Do we want to Force Spike? Sun Titan is a sweet one. I'm just going to take more mana fixing. We'll figure out what the hell we're doing with it in a second. Izzet Charm's a sweet spell. I'll take that. Got the other Ulamog. Got Avenger of Zendikar, which I think I value a little bit higher than most people. Got Underground Sea. And we've got Azorius Signet. I think I would like to pick up here in Azorius Signet. This Ulamog isn't horrible. Jace also isn't bad. Jace, Architect of Thought, this is a pretty good card. Yeah, we just want to grab the Signet. We've got a card in the deck. And need I say more? Hymn to Torok's good. Show and Tell is good. Spell Pierce, I think, is pretty reasonable as well. And then we have Dimir Signet and a Corpse Dance, which can reanimate Ulamog with buyback. We also have Karakas, which I think kind of does some work in this cube. Yeah, we've got 3 white sources already. I think I'm just going to keep grabbing Signets, though. We'll just grab whatever, you know, all these Signets, and then we'll grab whatever cards that the game lets us cast. This pack is pretty hot. Imperial Seal, Shelldock Isle, Ancient Tomb, Thran Dynamo, I think are the most powerful cards in this pack, and I think in that order as well. So, yeah, Karakas is good at protecting your Ulamog and also good at protecting against... I mean, it's not really good against Vendilion Clique, but it means it can't kill you. We'll take Imperial Seal here, though, and yeah, I'm excited for that one. I think we can make that work. So if we take out the Izzet Charm, we could kind of be in Bug, in which case we could grab another Noble Hierarch. Though we can also just grab a Thirst for Knowledge. Shelldock Isle is really good, and it's really sweet when you've got huge cards like Karn, Ulamog, and Bribery in your deck, which you typically do in the blue decks. But I don't think we need it. Here we could grab Sphinx. It's a good reanimation target, and it's good. There is also just a Signet hiding out here in the wings. All right, I'm going to take another Signet. Maybe we do grab this Tezzeret this time. There is also Exhume. I can go turn 1 Entomb, turn 2 Exhume. That's such a powerful sequence of plays. And it's weird to be in this, like, that means I'm probably Grixis as well. It's weird to be in this. Oh, there's a channel here? Oh. Oh, shit. Good catch. I almost just didn't even see it. No, this is definitely what I want to pick up. I can probably still find a way to cast it. Tezzeret's real good, and Exhume is real good, but yeah, we want to channel out a huge dumb thing, and we'll just grab blue-green lands to be able to help facilitate us doing that. So here's where, like, Bloodstained Mire can now go get us green mana and black mana. So Bloodstained Mire is a fetch land. We essentially made Bloodstained Mire into Verdant Catacombs just by picking up the Taiga earlier, so that's why Taiga isn't horrible. Burial Rites is sweet, but we will take a Breeding Pool, help fix our mana. We can take a Temple of Mystery and just have all the mana fixing, and I think we will, because this this deck is kind of doing some weird stuff with mana here. Pernicious Deed is not great with all of our signets. Maybe we wind up needing it. I'm not sure. Deranged Hermit is a reasonable card. Let's take Deranged Hermit. And we did get Jace, Architect of Thought on the wheel. So, yeah, we'll take Jace, Architect of Thought. I think that is a pretty decent one here. Not sure if we're playing Is It Charm just yet. I do want to grab Corpse Dance, though. This will be our first reanimation spell. We don't have to go all in on the reanimation plan, but just having access to it I think is sweet. Burning of Zinni in our 5-color deck is pretty sweet as well, and we wield Shelldock Isle. Shelldock Isle must not be as good of a card as I think it is, but yeah, to get it here seems pretty insane. We also have the Abyss, which currently works in our deck, but Shelldock Isle, just pick it up. It's a freebie. Seething Song, Mirren Crusader. I'll take an Ooze Prowler. I'm not going to play it. Wow, and Tezzeret Wield as well. We're getting a lot of the cards back that we want, which means it's pretty sweet that we've got... Yeah, Una's a discard, but I don't really like the card still. Yeah, Tezzeret's sweet. Oh, please tell me I got it in time. All right, I did, and we have Burial Rites, so we are 5-color. We are Bug... I guess we might not be red, but... Yeah, we're some crazy 5-color concoction here, potentially, if we want to be. Time Twister, while technically power, is pretty underpowered. Channel Emrakul, kind of hard to pass up on. Kind of hard to pass up on a Channel Emrakul there. We can also reanimate Emrakul with Corpse Dance, so we're doing it. This is an all-in Emrakul deck. Bazaar Baghdad's pretty cool in this type of strategy, and Rakdos Signet is sweet as well and on color. But yeah, we live in the dream. This is an all-in Emrakul deck, and I can grab a Mox Sapphire or a Tropical Island. We're gonna grab a Mox Sapphire. This deck is all sorts of crazy. We've got 9 lands, we've got 18 playables right now. I'm not sure. Are we playing Llanowar Elves just to help support Channel? I'm not sure that Llanowar Elves is in this deck. I'm also not sure that Deranged Hermit is in this deck. It's just like a double splash for Channel, which I think is still okay. Chandra's cool. Oh wow, we've got Packrat, which is a cool discard. I don't want Packrat here though. Tolarian Academy was actually what I was thinking. I have so many signets. This is going to be a soul land a decent amount of the time. But I think I just want to take Mystical Tutor. I've got a 2-card combo of Entomb, Corpse Dance. The more tutors I can pack into this deck, I think the better. And while Elves is really bad, it is important to consider that getting to the first green is the first step in getting to our second green. Yeah, I think we do want to just take Mystical Tutor there. Because we've got a 2-card combo that can just win us the game. We've got cards like Upheaval that we could tutor for if we wanted to, and I think we want Upheaval. Shieldred is a pretty boss reanimation target. We could also Tooth and Nail and put 2 dumb Eldrazzers out on the battlefield. But yeah, Channel Upheaval is sweet. Channel Tooth and Nail is never going to happen. Channel Upheaval could actually happen. So I think this is an Upheaval deck. Yeah, Channel Tooth and Nail is just way, way too much mana for us. Lotus Bloom lets us put these cards out, but Demonic Tutor is Demonic Tutor. Verdant Catacombs also seems really strong. But I think we just have to take another tutor here. So we can cut Deranged Hermit at this point. Urborg is reasonable mana fixing. I know so many tutor effects, and I think they're all good. Like, they're good in conjunction with each other. Phyrexian Arena, Tomb of Yawgmoth. We don't even have any double black. I don't think we need Tomb of Yawgmoth here. Repeal is really good. We can channel Mind Twist. Channel Mind Twist is pretty silly. Do I just want to take the land, though? No, I'm going to take Mind Twist. We'll make something work with that. We are in Bug, and we've got access to a Tasigur. Bug and access to a Tasigur is really good. So is Basalt Monolith, and so is just grabbing another Signet. Think we just grab another Signet here. Signets are real good with Upheaval. That means we can cast either of our Planeswalkers or do our combo on turn 3. So black Signets are pretty reasonable too. We've got so much tutoring that our combo's good. Really, the only way that we're going to get our Reanimation live is the Singleton Entomb, but I've got 3 different ways to tutor for Entomb. I could also grab a Makeshift Mannequin, which means I won't have to tutor for the other half of the combo. Makeshift Mannequin is decent because this can't be targeted by colored spells, so we can just Makeshift Mannequin the Emrakul. There's also Smuggler's Copter. I'm going to grab Makeshift Mannequin here. There's a lot of potential cards to pick up in that pack. We could take a Bazaar of Baghdad here, which helps with the tutoring a little bit. Helps with the tutoring and helps with the discard. I think Bazaar is good. I don't think it is great. But I'll take it. I'm not totally convinced we're going to play it here. Oh, we have another Necromancy as another reanimation spell. Yeah, maybe I could have just taken Timely Reinforcements there. That might have been better. So I could take Necromancy as another reanimation spell, and while it's good, I think I'm just going to take Hissing Quagmire. I think we just want good mana fixing. Can Cabal Ritual do anything? I think Cabal Ritual might do some stuff. Anguished Unmaking isn't great. Say Cabal Ritual. I don't think I'm super likely to play it, but I will take it nonetheless. I guess Brain Maggot is fine against some control decks. We'll take it and throw it in the sideboard. Elves of Deep Shadow seems reasonable. What does Bring to Light do? It can play an instant sorcery or creature. So it can go get Channel. That might be good enough, even. And we are playing 5-color. So we could potentially Bring to Light Bribery, which would be super sweet if we can Bring to Light out of Bribery. Yeah, I picked up this Naturalist. I think the Nature's Claim would have actually been a more reasonable pick than whatever I took over it. Maybe I took the Cabal Ritual over it. So, how many lands do we have? We've got 12 lands, which means we've got 25 cards here. So we might want to cut 2 cards. If we do, those 2 cuts are probably Conclave National... Oh, right, we have to... Bazaar of Baghdad is a spell, not a land. Yeah, I do have Disenchant in the sideboard. Conclave Naturalists... Did I say Nationalists? Conclave Naturalists is a pretty reasonable sideboard card. Maybe we don't want Llanowar Elves. It's, like, pretty fringy. But I definitely want to play this channel. 1, 2, 3, 4... Wait, why am I playing Taiga? Alright, I don't actually have a reason to play Taiga. Other than Bring to Light, so I guess we'll play it. I guess it's the same thing. Artifacts are actually pretty plentiful in the cube. Our opponents are, at the very least, always going to have a Signet or a Mox or something like that. I think I do want Llanowar Elves, as crazy as that seems. I think Bring to Light may be the way that we actually wind up casting Channel. We just go like turn 4, Bring to Light off of a Signet, and then... And I do think we want the ability to potentially Bring to Light Bribery. So, Boreal Rites, while a sweet Entomb target, doesn't actually do anything for us. This card can go into the graveyard, and then we can reanimate it. But this can't reanimate Emrakul. Yeah, we also have the Signets making lots of different type of mana. Yeah, I'm not convinced I want Boreal Rites here. It's fine because it's the only, like, permanent reanimation spell for Ulamog. But I think we're just going to wind up wanting to wait and reanimate Emrakul, because that's just so much more powerful. The Karn and the Upheaval, I think, are both good. I might not want Bazaar, though Bazaar is good with Shelldock Isle. If I can just go turn 1, Bazaar, turn 2, Shelldock Isle, put something sweet under it. Yeah, okay, we'll hang on to Bazaar. I think we've got ways to make it work. This can draw us cards. You know what? Tezzeret is actually a little bit underpowered here. Only thing he can get us is more Signets. Alright, yeah, Tezzeret's out, unfortunately. I don't think he's strong enough. So right now we are running 11 lands and 23 spells, counting Bazaar of Baghdad as a spell and Mox Sapphire as a land. He can make 5/5s, and 5 plus 15 does equal 20. I mean, a 5/5 is a relevant creature when it's attacking alongside a 15/15. I just don't know anything else that I would rather play over Tezzeret. I think Mind Twist is a little bit interesting. I don't think it's going to wind up being super powerful, but even just like Mind Twist for 3 on turn 3 is a pretty decent getcha. So, you know what? Yeah, I think that actually will be pretty good. I will be right back to throw some lands into this pile. This is all good to go, right? Speaking of go, looks good. 2 islands, 3 swamps, 1 forest. All right, how many green sources does that put us at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I feel like I might want 1 more green source. Maybe cut a swamp for another forest. We do have Urborg. Half of our signets are black. I think we probably still want Boros Signet. Just mana's good. How many black sources do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Splashing for the double green is just awkward with channel. But I think this is good. And we have a lot of weird lands like... Alright, let's break down this mana base here. Actually... So green, black, green, black, blue, black. This is nothing. And this is just blue. We've got green, green, blue. I guess we'll keep there. This is blue, 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 blue. Yeah, Urborg is a million black sources, though we really only need the 1. Then we've got green. I think we're okay on black. Yeah, even when we put 3 of the black sources here and 1 of the black sources here, we still have the same amount of black sources as everything else. And then we're just playing these weird splash colors to make Bring to Light a little bit more interesting. Bring to Light Bribery is strong. And it can cast instants too, is that correct? Yeah. Can cast instants at sorcery speed. Yeah, like, Channel is also so much better in the earlier game. We do also have these that balance that out. If we add this. This gives us a pretty even mana base. And we've got a lot of double blue as well. Bribery, Jace, Upheaval, though they're more expensive cards. The fact that we want channel mana so early, though, I think is the ultimate I forgot what I was saying. I started thinking of something else halfway through talking. Not sure what I was on there, but let's do it up. I'm just going to edit the description here. Alrighty, and take a picture of this concoction here so I know what I'm working with. I don't think I will ever want to mind twist myself because mind twist is random. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing that. Our main sideboard cards are really just Brain Maggot and maybe Naturalists. But those are reasonable sideboard cards. We lost the die roll. Ritualing out Ulamog, Karn, and Emrakul I don't think is actually out of the realm of possibility. I think this deck could potentially cast an Emrakul, though I guess that's much more likely to happen off the back of Channel. Ooh, okay. Well, we might be waiting a little bit longer for our opponent here. My opponent, if we look up in the top right corner, has an 80-card deck, which means they forgot to submit. So, yeah, they have to play with a big deck. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I think there's an algorithm that, so they like drafted 45 cards and then I guess 25 lands got added to that. So my opponent is kind of in an awkward place. So we get a free game win. We don't get a free match win, but we probably get a free game win. I think our deck is powerful enough that we will... I mean, if we think about it, we probably could have put all of the cards into our deck and then played something like a 60-card deck. We could cast that Huntmaster of the Fells and Disenchant. But yeah, it's 35 lands added, but that seems like pretty high, which, like, I'm not sure if the algorithm takes into account the fact that, like, you can draft basics. Or not basics, that you can draft lands in general. Because, like, if I drafted this, yeah, like, I wouldn't want 35 more lands to be added to my deck, but at least they let you play. You know, they could just say, you didn't submit, you lose. GG. Alright, so my opponent decides to keep. We've got Channel and the mana to cast it. Or I'm sorry, they've decided to play. They didn't decide to keep. Now they get to see that they've got an 80-card deck. So that whole time they were just deciding if they wanted to be on the play or the draw. We're going to keep this hand, and we are going to hope to draw an Emrakul by, say, turn 5 or so. I will also settle for a turn 2 Karn. Ooh, look at my opponent over there. Playing a turn 1 Noble Hierarch, completely fixing his mana, and going off. Alright, we will just play a Llanowar Elves. Next turn we have Ulamog. Now, what's interesting is that exiling 20 cards from my opponent's deck doesn't kill them. But we will be able to Ulamog and completely cut them off green mana, which I think will be pretty good for us. Alright, they end their turn. Yeah, let's play Forest. Play Channel. Let's play Ulamog. Yeah, this guy actually knows exactly what he's doing. He's just like, well, I'll let my opponent exile 20 cards from the top of my deck, and then I will just destroy target attacking creature, or some shit like that. Or play a channel, or play a looter, and then crash for 1. Yep, I mean, that channel turn seemed pretty good. Alright, that is a turn 2 win in Vintage Cube. I think we would have gotten it even if my opponent didn't have a 80-card deck. I think that still would have been a good game for us. I don't know why I keep trying to add more basics to this deck when I just need to submit. My opponent has 3 minutes now to trim his 80-card deck into a 40-card deck, and I wish him all the best with that. Upheaval isn't great against a green opponent, but it is good against creatures. It's hard to really judge anything based off what my opponent did. Yeah. On the play, that hand would have been, like, pretty absurd, too. And we did wind up drawing the looter as well. Or maybe we had the looter in the opener. I don't really remember exactly when we drew the opener. Or drew the looter. Maybe we drew looter turn 1. No, we didn't draw looter turn 1 because I would have played it. Did I draw Ulamog turn 1 and looter on turn 2? I think I did. Looter would have helped us draw into the Ulamog as well. And even if we lost our Llanowar Elves to a Lightning Bolt effect, we had double Forest. So that hand was sitting pretty. Yeah, turn 2 had to be the looter, otherwise I just would have went turn 1, Mox looter, turn 2, channel, and I wouldn't have played the Llanowar Elves ever. Alrighty, so we might be finishing this one kind of quickly, which would mean that we might get to play some Soulforge. We might get to do it up Soulforge style, dudes. Oh, what are you doing there? What are you doing there, Upheaval? Trying to get out of the deck? Alright, well, I took a screenshot of the deck just so that I would have it, but I guess I have to go find it now in my screenshots folder. Yep, there it is. And yeah, I'm just gonna crop this. I'll worry about that later. So we've got some big beefy shit. We've got the mana to play channel. And we've got the big beefers. So what this hand is missing is black mana and a tutor. I think we keep this. We can't draw... Oh, we can draw Mystic Tutor. Alright, so we've got 4 tutors, and we've got channel, and then we've got 10 black sources in the deck. So we can keep this. We need to draw some combination of that. Wow, my opponent leads off with the Mana Dude again. So it looks like their deck is actually reasonable. We will lead with Temple here, and keep anything that's a tutor or a channel, bottom anything that isn't, and then we'll pass the turn. We also could have played Boros Signet there. It's not going to be too hard to make that Signet work. My opponent did trim down to 41, indeed, and they didn't attack. Okay. Well, I think... we can't play the Signet and the Looter here. Alright, that's a little unfortunate. I'm just going to play Breeding Pool. and Mock Sapphire, and then I'm going to play the Looter. So if I draw something like Makeshift Mannequin off of the Looter next turn, that would be pretty sweet. Yeah, Looter's really good. We can bin the Ulamog because we actually just don't even need the Ulamog. And if we are able to draw... Alright, so my opponent has a 5-drop here. And they're playing a Garruk. They're playing a Thragtusk. Thragtusk is pretty decent. Thragtusk means we don't just win when we channel out an Emrakul. Alright, so I'm going to play an Island pre-combat so that if we draw Makeshift Mannequin, we can go for it. Always yield. Alright, Demonic Tutor. Also pretty good. Oh, wow, I'm so punished for playing that island. I could have went Channel Emrakul. No, I can't play Channel Emrakul. That is really punishing. I guess I should have played Taiga so that I could have Demonic Tutored into Channel Emrakul and win the game. As is, I can't channel out the Emrakul anymore. So what can Emrakul do for me? I can Demonic Tutor here, and then I can Reanimate Emrakul next turn, or I can just hardcast Ulamog, exiling Thragtusk, and whatever my opponent plays next turn. Looter Ilkor can't block, so if I channel out Ulamog, I'm going to be going down to 5. I can still find the channel, but... Oh, okay, and then I play some Signets this turn. That's what I do. Alright. So I play some Signets because you don't have to actually channel for 15, right? Just the remainder. So, let's play Azorius Signet. I can't play both Signets. Right? 1, 2... Yeah, I can't play both Signets. I just have to... Demonic Tutor here. I go grab Channel. And then I can cast it. Take an extra turn. And they won't be dead. Alright. I think this works. We'll make my opponent sacrifice all their permanents. They can hit me for 5 and then 3. And then am I... I don't know. I'm still going to have to play something on the second turn. Right? Oh no, I can play Emrakul for only 11 life. So that'll put me down to 4. That missed attack with my opponent's Fintorn Elves is actually going to come back to bite them here. My opponent can also just keep Thragtusk in play. Looter not being able to block is actually really unfortunate here, but obviously Shadow is a pretty powerful ability on Looter. Right, yeah, currently he has to sack all of his permanents, gets a token. No, now he can just keep Thragtusk. So Looter would cost me 4 life. I think I'm still going to do it. I mean, I have to, right? And then we're going to see what I can get in the extra turn. Maybe I should have scryed. Maybe that scrying would have been better. Yeah, that Taiga would have been huge because it just would have given me an extra attack. Maybe my opponent will just concede to Emrakul. I mean, he's a pretty strong dude. Alright, 11 life. So this is going to put me down to 3. And I get 2 loots. I'm going to keep the Temple because next turn I can play Temple, scry 1, and then loot again. Let's yield to that ability. I do want to take an extra turn after this one. Alright, so let's get in there. Maybe I could have even attacked first here, though I don't think that that would have been too likely to be relevant here. That's right, baby, that's an Emrakul. If he just lightning bolts me, that would be pretty brutal, too. Alright. Declare attacks. Let's get rid of this Boros Signet. Upheaval. That'll do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Do I want to get rid of Boros Signet? So I can Upheaval, then I can replay Island, Mock Sapphire, Azorius Signet, or just replay the Looter. Upheaval Emrakul is like kind of a weird combo. Because my opponent, though it's going to destroy all of my opponent's lands. We'll bin the Boros Signet. I think we're the least likely to need that. We can make the rest of this work here. Oh, wait. No, you know what's going to happen? They're going to keep their Thragtusk. We're going to Upheaval. And then they're still going to have a 3/3 Beast token. That's what's going to happen, dudes. No, because they only have 6 permanents here, so they're just going to keep Thragtusk around. I don't think we have lethal here. We have to hope my opponent keeps Beast Fintorn Elves. Yeah, we really have to hope my opponent sacks the Thragtusk. So do I want a Looter here? I guess I do need to Scry because Upheaval isn't good enough. I think I need to Scry because I don't think this is good enough. What can I draw into? I can draw into Makeshift Mannequin as a blocker. I can draw into any reanimation spell to give me a blocker with Ulamog. I can bring to light Bribery. I think I've got better draws in the deck than Upheaval. So let's go Temple of Mystery. We're going to Scry 1. Put this on the bottom. Attack for 16. Hope my opponent sacrifices Thragtusk and lets us win the game in some more turns here. Oh, they're flashing something out. They're floating mana. Weird, alright. So they're floating some mana here. They're sacrificing Thragtusk. Alright, they've already decided that they want to sacrifice Thragtusk. They're thinking this beast wins. Yeah, I'm not sure what they were trying to cast there. They still have 3 mana floating, so they could still potentially cast something weird. But I don't know why they would be waiting till the Annihilation trigger to cast it. Like, they've had 6 mana open since we've played Emrakul. So the only thing it would be like target player sacrifices 2 attacking creatures. Some weird shit like that. Yeah, you get to keep one of your permanents there. So they are going to keep the basic planes, and then we will Upheaval their token to kill their token. We're going to hit them for 16 down to 7. And then we've got a little bit of time here to figure out how we're going to deal with this remaining damage here. Alright, so declare attacker step. If we just get a reanimation spell, that will also do it for us. They go Beast Within on the planes, so they're going to make 2 lethal attackers with their floating mana. This Upheaval is definitely going to get cast then. We get Mystic Tutor, but nothing that we can do with it. I will still discard the Temple. We're going to have a bunch of lands coming back for us here. And now we shall Upheaval. Cool. We got there. That's fine. And then I can mock Sapphire. I already played my land for the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so I guess I will Mystical Tutor here. And I will just grab... Seven. Yeah, I guess I'll just grab Corpse Dance here. Right? Yeah, Corpse Dance is fine. It should be lethal. And then I've got to discard a card, and we want to discard not Emrakul. So let's discard the basic Taiga. Okay. This turn we can play... yeah, we want to have black mana next turn, so I'll just play Temple. That's a fine card. Yeah, my opponent's plan was reasonable, but it wound up not working out for them. Just rereading Corpse Dance here. Let's cast it. Reanimate our Ulamog. And hit my opponent for their remaining life points. We did it. Alright, Corpse Dance wins us the match. Nurgles, is your question because you don't know what Corpse Dance does? Or you're just saying, like, Corpse Dance, let's play it? Alright, and we were the last game playing there, so... we aren't going to have to play any Soulforge here. We are... the next game begins in a minute and a half, so we will just wait for that for anybody that is... Okay, yeah, so Corpse Dance is a reanimation spell for 3 mana, instant speed, buyback. Reanimates the top creature card in your graveyard. So that can actually come back to bite us. I'm pretty sure that it reanimates the top creature card in your graveyard. Let me double check that. Yeah, return the top creature card of your graveyard to the battlefield. So we do actually have to watch that. We've got a Llanowar Elves and we've got a Looter Ilkor in the deck. Our opponents can, in response to Corpse Dance, Lightning Bolt our Looter or something weird like that and kind of blow us out. It also means that if we discarded Looter to to hand size, our Corpse Dance would have not been lethal. Yeah, it's not great sometimes, but then what it also does is the creature gains haste and you exile it at the beginning of the next end step. So it's got buyback, which means we can use it twice. The real reasons, though, that we play it are the fact that it's an instant speed reanimation spell, which means that we can use it to reanimate an Emrakul, and then that Annihilator 6 is usually enough to wipe up the board. Sometimes you need to annihilate them for 6, and then also upheaval them. Sometimes that's just what you need in the game of Magic. So sometimes that's what we got to do. We won the die roll. We will get to play first. We have a Demonic Tutor for Channel. We're going to keep this hand. This hand's got a lot of shit going on. It's got Demonic Tutor for Channel. It's got Orzhov Signet. It's got the Mind Twist and the Karn, and we already have the double green. The only awkward part about this hand is that our green source comes into play tapped, and then we have to choose between Signet and Elf next turn. But this is fine. Imperial Seal. So this means we could go on the other plan. I'm not going to turn down an Imperial Seal. Pretty sure we have to keep that one. I forget what we took over Strip Mine. Was it the Karn over Strip Mine? Yeah, Imperial Seal means that we can get both halves of our Emrakul combo. Obviously, our opponent here is a blue deck. So what we can try to do... Llanowar Elves is also a little bit fragile. But I think I like this turn going Llanowar Elves, Imperial Seal, and then next turn we can give a shot for Channel Mind Twist Karn. And we'll just Mind Twist their entire hand but one, and then slam down a Karn and take whatever's left. Or take one of their lands. I'd rather the Llanowar Elf not get Force Spiked if one of these two cards has to get Force Spiked. And yeah, I think I grabbed Channel here. If I really, really need to, I can Demonic Tutor for a Forest, actually. So, yeah, this is even relatively low risk. Channel seems solid, and that's why we drafted a deck with 3 tutors for that channel. My opponent goes turn 2 Pack Rat. I don't think that's going to be enough. We're going to Mind Twist them for 6, and then exile Pack Rat with Karn. Alright, so Channel. Then let's start with a Mind Twist, targeting them, pay the black, X equals 6. This is a crazy, crazy play. I think I like this, though, right? Oh, wait, I could also just Mind Twist them and then tick Karn up. I can tick Karn up because they're only going to draw one card next turn, so they won't be able to activate Pack Rat. Alright, yeah, so let's do this. X equals 5. We're going to leave them with 1 card. We got a Gush, a Tamio, a Go for the Throat, a Swamp, and a Diabolic Edict. And then I'm going to play Karn, and that'll leave me with 6 life points. I will tick Karn up. Make them discard something sweet. And we got an Animate Dead off of Karn. That's not going to do anything for us, but we'll be fine. So the other play would have just been to exile Pack Rat if I just Mind Twisted their whole hand. I think my opponent's going to attack me here. No, they attacked Karn. Alright, that's fine. So here I can Demonic Tutor and play something that costs 2. Or I can set up to Demonic Tutor and then next turn play something that costs 5. What do we have that costs 5 even that I would want to play? We kind of want to Karn either their permanent or one of their lands. We could just Karn their Swamp, and then what can they do? I think Karning their Swamp is pretty reasonable. We can keep Llanowar Elves back on defense. Let's see what we're going to tutor for first, I guess. We don't have blue mana for Bring to Light, so I don't think I'm going to grab that here. But with 5 mana... Yeah, we don't really have the mana to cast anything here. Doesn't really matter, I guess, what we grab then. Just put it in our hand. We could just get and play a Shelldock Isle. Get a Hissing Quagmire. We could get an Emrakul so that we can restart the next game with Emrakul. It's 14. I kind of want to try that. I think if I'm going to get a blue source, then Shelldock Isle is the best thing. Just grab Emrakul. That sounds sweet. And then let's just exile Swamp. I think this is going to buy us enough time here, too. So now my opponent can draw a land, or they can draw a spell. They can attack. Now we can Karn them, and my opponent's in the same position. They can either draw a land or a card to discard. Oh, they played a land. Time Twister. Oh, shit. All right, well, we got a game here, then. All right, all right. Yeah, I kind of just wanted to do some dumb shit, I'm not going to lie. But we'll figure something out. All right, my opponent goes Pack Rat. They're not going to play the land into the rat. Alright, so my opponent caught me trying to do some silly shit here this game. Maybe we got a little bit greedy. What happens if we... Demonic Tutor. So now I feel like I kind of do just want to play Shelldock Isle. It will let us Bribery next turn. And I guess we just kill the Pack Rat so that it doesn't get out of control here. That would also mean that we'd get to restart the game with Pack Rat. So, let's just get Pack Rat out of here. I'm going to play Shelldock Isle, which I just realized Shelldock Isle does work with Mystical Tutor and the other tutor. So what happens when you reset is you get to restart the game with whatever cards you've exiled that are permanents with Karn. So we'll start the game with a Pack Rat and a Swamp currently. Alright, so we will cast Emrakul if we can draw... one more card here. Oh, never mind. There's 25 cards in the deck. So here, I think I actually do grab a Signet, because a Signet's going to give me a blue mana to activate the Shelldock Isle, and then I can start bazaring to thin my deck so that we can use Emrakul. Is Mox Sapphire better? They're the same thing. Sapphire is easier to use. Let's play Sapphire, and I will crash on my opponent for 1. We're just trying to do all the sweet stuff that we can manage to do. Yeah, so next turn, we will be able to Bazaar. We draw 2 cards, discard 3. We won't quite have it. We'll be 1 card short, actually. So maybe there was something else I could have done. Shadow Mage, Infiltrator. Might just clean this up as well. Clean this up and then Bribery. I think there's a chance my opponent even just concedes to Bribery. Maybe we don't want to show them Bribery, or maybe we do just want to do all the sweet things that we can do in this deck. Let's see. What's the safest play? I guess the safest play is just Bribery. See what we're working with. And then... I guess I could have led with Bazaar of Baghdad. Alright, my opponent has the Force of Will. So I guess I could have led with Bazaar, but that's still good to know about Force of Will. Let's exile Shadow Mage Infiltrator. We could have also exiled Swamp. Yeah, leading with Bazaar would have been a little bit better. We could have drawn, see if we could have hit, like, I don't know. There's potentially some cards that we could have hit, even so. We also have a bunch of cards here that we can discard. I don't know why I didn't attack for one. Alright, let's Bazaar, end of turn. Discarding Breeding Pool, Temple of Mystery, and Hallowed Fountain. And now I've got 20 cards in the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just play an Emrakul. I'm sure this will be enough to do my opponent in here. I almost just clicked no. How do I cast Emrakul? Oh, I have to click it right here? Weird. Alright, and let's yield to that triggered ability. Emrakul! Alrighty, begin sideboarding. That was all game one. What a crazy fucking game. So my opponent has Force of Will. They've got Pack Rat. We did a whole bunch of nothing for casting a channel on turn 2. Or turn 3. It was a turn 3 channel. What else did we see? We saw a Time Twister. We saw a Tamio. So like Dark Confidant. I think there's enough cards here that we're going to want a Brain Maggot against our opponents. We don't really have any anti-creature cards at the moment. Upheaval. Upheaval even seems different. Oh, my opponent is a... No, my opponent's a Reanimation deck, for sure. They had an Animate Dead, a Dark Confidant, and a... Shadow Mage Infiltrator as their looter of choice. Yeah, right. Dark Confidant, Shadow Mage Infiltrator, and Pack Rat are all good creatures in the reanimation strategy. This is only target creature card. We can't go Is a Charm. Yeah, there's not really much we can do against that. I might bring in Conclave Naturalist, though. It kills Animate Dead. Maybe that's better than Brain Maggot. What can we possibly board out, though? Nothing. That's the tricky part. No, I think Mind Twist is still good against a Reanimator deck. The fact that they have to discard random cards means that it still winds up being pretty good. I think we just have to really not lose to Pack Rat, and we'll be okay. Though I'm sure my opponent has other stuff going on, too. Our Llanowar Elf seemed great. They had no way to remove that. You know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't really see how I can change around the spots in this deck. Upheaval might not be super great, but it can still get us out of some tricky situations as seen round 1. So we're just going to go with the same thing. We've got the channel. We also have Entomb. We're going to keep this hand. But this hand, don't get me wrong, this hand needs to draw some cards still. We'll go with Forest and then Temple of Malice. In case we draw... well, Temple of Malady makes that play a lot better. We'll put an island on the bottom. We do need double blue eventually, but I would rather draw it. Right, this deck is great. Scoreboard. Alright, my opponent's going to name Karn here. Pretty sure. They can't name Shelldock Isle. Or no, they... Yeah, no, they can't name Shelldock Isle. So yeah, Karn Liberated is now a card that we don't want to draw. Alright, and we've got Mystic Tutor to go get... probably Makeshift Mannequin. You do have to watch out because my opponent has... Force of Will in their deck. Let's just play Temple of Malice here, see if we can get any more information. Imperial Seal. Okay. Sure. Alright, I'm sure we can think of some concoctions to brew up here. We drew 3 of the 4 tutors in the deck. So, hey, deck says tutor. We goes to tutor, baby. Channel... you know what we can do, actually, then? Anywhere. Oh, that's sweet. Okay. So, I think what we do is we... Imperial Seal for Emrakul. Try to channel out Emrakul. If that doesn't work... The only problem with that is we want Ugin both in our hand... Or, I'm sorry, we want Emrakul both in our hand... and in the deck. Yeah, Ugin isn't in this deck. Yeah, you threw me off there for a second, too. We're going to go Hallowed Fountain, not paying 2 life. And then we're going to cast Imperial Seal. And so I think I just grab Emrakul. If they have a counter spell for the... If they have a counter spell for the Emrakul, though... Or, I'm sorry, they could have a counter spell for the channel. Oh, wait, it's the same thing. I'm going to take... No, it'll work. It'll work. I'll take 4 damage next turn, go down to 14, but I'm going to make my opponent sacrifice all their permanents. Yeah, I think Emrakul is just the safest. And then, if this gets countered, I will have Mystical Tutor. I'll go get Makeshift Mannequin. And then the next turn I'll go Entomb and Reanimate Ulamog. But we're going for the better plan A turn first. So I'm going to take 5 here, go to 11. Oh, great. My opponent's going to have too many permanents. How did my opponent get all these fucking permanents now? So I can play Emrakul. Oh, wait. Emrakul would cost me 13 life. I did that math wrong. Emrakul cost me 13 life, so I needed Ulamog. Shoot. Yeah, I could have played Ulamog and survived. I can't even cast Emrakul here, though. Can I... Bribery? No, I can't. I can't even get up the mana to bribery. Alright. I think we threw this one. Should have just got Ulamog. Backup plan is Emrakul. Poor Ulamog. Yeah, I messed up there for sure. Cabal Ritual would have been good. It would have saved me a life point. No, it wouldn't have let me cast it still. So Jace. My opponent actually has a lot more creatures now than I thought they did. Maybe we take out Jace. This now has 2 targets that it can hit, as well as just being a 4/4. You can Brain Maggot. That clears the way for counter magic. I think I'm going to put in Naturalists. We didn't draw any ramp that game either. Alright, so we'll play first. This hand's really slow. But it's an Entomb away, and we've got 4 Entombs in the deck. Alright, I'll give it a shot. Yeah, they really just played creatures, and we didn't come with a game plan for opponents that just play creatures. We are going to bottom this. We could draw a looter, but I'd rather just bottom it and hit a search for Entomb. Alright, upheaval's reasonable. It means we're not going to die anytime soon here, so we can breathe easy. Creepy Tar Pit is pretty good, though. Creepy Tar Pit could get us. If we draw Entomb here, we can Entomb Emrakul, Shadow Dance it, or Corpse Dance it, and get him. Alright, well that's not Entomb, but it is the next best thing. Will we be able to Corpse Dance with buyback? Doesn't look like it. We'll just Breeding Pool, not paying 2 life. We can go and step Mystical Tutor. And then if that doesn't work, we've got Upheaval on the following turn. Yeah, Bob's a tricky card, but it generally winds up being pretty good. It's going to put my opponent to 17 here, but yeah, Bob is generally a little bit worse in Limited because you wind up playing bigger cards. And the problem is, like, my opponent's deck actually seems pretty cheap. And now that I think about it, my opponent might just be playing Reanimate just to get Bob. Or just to get back their small creatures. Mesmeric Fiend. If we Mystical Tutor in response... Does our opponent know about Entomb? They do, don't they? I think we're just going to let my opponent potentially take a bad card here. We have Bring to Light for X equals 4. Bring to Light for X equals 4 can get us nothing great. We need the red mana to be able to Bring to Light for bribery. So we will let Mesmeric Fiend resolve here. If they take Mystical Tutor, that's fine. If they take Corpse Dance, that's about the same. I'd rather have the Tutor, I think. And my opponent took the Upheaval. Cool. So we knew that that was always a chance. That's why we let our opponents have the option of taking the Upheaval. So my opponent's only going to have 1 mana open here. So we have to play around Force Spike, potentially Force of Will. My opponent might get a pretty big blowout on us here, but I think we still have to go for it. We can't just play around Force of Will the whole game. We can't get Channel. So we're grabbing Entomb, just double checking on all this. Grabbing Entomb, then we're going to cast it, and then we are going to Corpse Dance without buyback. Sounds good. And then my opponent's going to lose all of their permanents if this goes off. So let's see. We draw Entomb. We play Urborg, fixing our opponent's mana. So just to be safe, I want to have some... you know what? There's no reason to do this like this. Just play Entomb. We're going to put Emrakul in the graveyard. And then I'm going to cast this. Undo. Oh, pay 2. Okay. And then we Corpse Dance Emrakul. Yeah, then my opponent sacrifices their whole board. We get back Upheaval. We put them down to 2. And we're going to be able to Karn in like 2 turns here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. 2 more lands and we get to cast Karn. Whew, we did it. We reanimated the most powerful creature in the multiverse. Feel the power of the Aeons Torn. We get back our upheaval, they discard all their cards, and we win the match. That's going to be enough for them to pack it in. Whew. Okay. So we were pretty much just playing around force of will there, and we were able to do it. I am going to just edit this stream title real quick. So we're 2-0. I will be right back. I'm just going to solidify my dinner plans, and these guys are 1-1. Think we might just wait for them, but if we're still waiting on that game when I get back, then I might just play some random Soulforge games. I probably won't do a Soulforge draft because it's already pretty late here, but I will be back in like 2 minutes regardless. Okie dokie, I am back. I was actually going to ask you, Nurgles, when you were talking earlier, if you were asking if I knew anything about Constructed, if you were referring to Soulforge Constructed or Magic the Gathering Constructed. So... So yeah, I will pop up Soulforge here for a minute. I'm also just going to choose a filter. Why would I want to choose a filter? I want to crop this picture though. Done. Save. Alright, so I'm just going to have this in the background here. So this is the deck that we're looking at, if anybody joins us and wants to see what we're working with here. And then I will just play some Soulforge in the interim. So, as far as Soulforge Constructed goes, I am not too versed in Soulforge Constructed, but I do have a few decks. This deck is like okay, but mostly jokey. This deck is really old. This deck is a joke. This deck is a joke. This deck is a joke. This one I made for a specific kind of tournament. This deck is like, it's been around since the beta, but it's always kind of fine. Just Grim Gaunts and removal spells. Ham Sandwich is nothing. Level Flex is fine. And then Wegu level. So I've got 3 different... Oh, yeah. Okay, so I think Wegu level is probably the best constructed deck I have, though it's a little bit outdated. It's about 2 patches old, but I will still play it here. Dinos, I think, just got better again. There's a card called Brawn, if you know that one. Yeah, Burn and Poison are both popular, as well as just removal spells. Play Ruby Scale Dragon here. Dinos is decent. So basically the point of this deck, Asperian Sage is really good. It gets to level 2 cards. And then Killian, the stats on this guy, they just recently made better. Oh, Dinos and Poison are kind of the same deck now. That makes sense. I mean, if you're going to play Utera, you should be playing... you should be playing Shardplate Toxoid. This card's brand new, and it's just way too strong, so there's no reason not to play it. And then if you're going to play it in your deck, you might as well also play Leyline Vermin, which says if a creature with poison dies on your opponent's turn, you win. Unfortunately, that is going to be it for Soulforge today. Maybe I'll play 1 game to finish off the stream, but our Magic match just started here. So we lost the die roll. Our opponent's going to take a second to get back into the game. This is the deck that we are working with, though. Deck is pretty cool. It's doing a lot of really powerful things. And, I mean, we've got a 2-card combo with Entomb plus Corpse Dance or Makeshift Mannequin, with Makeshift being the slightly safer option, Corpse Dance being the slightly more controlling option. And then we also have the 2-card combo of Channel plus Ulamog Mind Twist, Karn, and Emrakul. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 straight up tutors. Or, I'm sorry, no, Entomb isn't a tutor. And neither is Channel. I don't know why I counted Channel as one of the tutors for Channel. But Channel is kind of a tutor for Channel, because it's like you just cast it. Yeah, this deck is definitely greatest hits of Magic. I mean, when you're playing Channel Emrakul, that's kind of like the entirety of Magic all rolled together, because you've got Channel from the beginning of the game there, and then you've got Emrakul as the new hotness. This opponent is... So this guy just finished his game, so maybe he... and that went to 3 games, so maybe he is grabbing a smoke or taking a piss break real quick while he gets excited. Our first round was kind of a bye, so I hope our second round is not a bye here as well. But we'll just continue to take a look at the deck and talk about it. We have Llanowar Elves as one of our only 4 creatures, and Llanowar Elves is specifically in the deck just to help cast Channel. So that's kind of a weird one. This layout is kind of weird too. But this layout was so that I could figure out the mana base, and then after that it's mostly in order of mana cost. Alright, looks like our match has started here. So we've got Channel, we've got 1 green source, And we've got Emrakul. We also have turn 3 Jace, so we're going to keep this. Turn 3 Jace is pretty good, and we are just hoping that Jace on turn 3 plus Temple means that we can find a second green source before we go to too low of a life total. That has been one of the problems with the deck, is we try to channel Emrakul, and then we realize, oh wait, we need some life points to be able to do that. So hopefully we've ironed out all the kinks. We do need one more land just to be able to play Jace. Yeah, everybody plays blue-black in this cube. I think blue-black have definitely got to be the two most powerful colors, followed by... It's blue first for sure. Oh, Bribery's good. Bribery's good, but it's not as good as what else we've got in hand. I think I'm going to bottom Bribery. At the same time, our opponent is pretty likely to be Reanimation, because our round 2 opponent wasn't actually Reanimator, he was just creatures. Let's bottom Bribery. We've got Bring to Light if we really decide that we need to cast Bribery. Oh, that was another thing I didn't suggest. Yeah, Bring to Light with Boros Signet is a combo, but Bring to Light with Channel in your deck is also just a combo. That means that we don't have to... Oh, but we have Channel in our hand. We don't have it in our deck. Yeah, we have all 5 colors here. So as long as we can hit 5 mana, we can cast Bring to Light. Our opponent's got a Jace, which is a pretty solid looter. Alright, we've got all the mana we need. We just need to draw some green mana, or if not, we will just Bring to Light out a Bribery, I suppose. But yes, we definitely have all 5 colors here. I wonder if anybody has ever used Bring to Light to put a Elishnorn out onto the battle before. Because that's what we're going to do. Tezzeret would be decent. We don't have him in the deck, though. We had the blue Tezzeret in the other deck, and the blue-black Tezzeret we cut from the final list of this deck. Alright, so my opponent main phase loots, tries to find something, discards a land. We hit Corpse Dance, which means that we have some plans if we hit a... whatchamacallit. I am glad that I bottomed that Bribery. We really just need a land here. But we will just play some Signets, and we will play a Jace. You know what would suck here? Balance. Alright, my opponent 4 spikes that, which is fine. We got the red mana onto the battlefield. We don't need the white mana. We sequenced our cards correctly. We have enough mana still to play Jace. Bring to Light for Entomb does work. Oh, my opponent's going to take probably Dimir Signet, which means we won't be able to play Jace unless we draw a blue source. No, they are going to take Boros Signet. They know we've got Bring to Light, and they want to cut off any potential random splashes. Alright, and blue source? No. Okay. That's fine. Our opponent's got a pretty decent mana denial plan. If we Jace, we might just crack him for a mini Factor Fiction. We'll see. We're still really close to just winning this game. So I will not fret. Channel Karn is probably worse than Channel Emrakul, though We do have it as a backup plan. We do still need the second green mana here, though. If we really get in a rough spot and somehow we hit, like, we draw Urborg and another swamp, we can bring to light and go get Llanowar Elves, and then we'll be able to channel. Which I'm not sure that's what we'll want to do, but there is a chance. Oh, my opponent has Karakas. Did anybody else notice that? My opponent just quietly playing a Karakas there on the other side of the battlefield? That's pretty scary. So it looks like Karn might have to come out and eat that Karakas. My opponent decided not to Jace. Karakas is pretty bad, eh? But we can channel Karn. What else can we do? If we're playing channel, we really get to cast Karn and that's it. Whereas if we wait one more turn, we could just Jace here to factor fiction to make our channel better. I don't hate that. We're not going to be channeling Emrakul at this point. So let's play Jace. Alright. We're Jacing. I almost have these signets figured out. Jace might just get countered, which is fine. That means that Jace eats counterspell. And now we can channel. My opponent is going to... Oh, my opponent's going to cast Armageddon here. Alrighty. Well, my opponent looks like has won this one. I'm not going to give up. They're going to play a Baneslayer. They're going to play Riftwing Cloudskate, return target permanent. They're going to bounce probably Dimir Signet. Yeah. One, two, three, four, five, six. My opponent didn't go for the Armageddon. Now they're tapped out. We can channel Karn or channel Emrakul here. We can't channel Bring to Light yet. That doesn't do anything for us, so we would have to... Yeah, we can't channel the Bring to Light. If we channel Emrakul, we go down to 2. Our opponent has to sack 6 permanents. They get to keep around both flyers. We get another turn. We do get another turn with that play, though. This only costs 1 life, so maybe we go down to 1. Play Dimir Signet. We can't play Imperial Seal. Yeah, because right now I'm paying 14 life. So I could pay 15 life, play Dimir Signet. Next turn I will have 4 mana. What would I have to draw? Let's take a look at the deck list. 4 mana. Makeshift Mannequin isn't going to do enough for us. Upheaval is not going to do enough. We're looking for, like, Llanowar Elves. But that won't really do anything either. Well, Emrakul can't get countered. But the problem is Emrakul costs us 14 life and Imperial Seal costs us 2 life. In total, that's 16. So we can't Emrakul and then, like, guarantee draw something. So we almost have to go Karn. Karn will go down to 3. My opponent can kill Karn and then Armageddon. I don't think I can win. Unless my opponent makes a big boo-boo. My opponent might sacrifice Riftwing Cloudskate to keep more lands. And not give us this. And then we just have to play Llanowar Elves to win. Alright, let's try it. Actually, undo. We're going to play Dimir Signet first. Alright, so I'm going to go down to 1 here. Well, because I could see them wanting to keep around Caracas. They're not going to know what we're playing main phase 2. They might just want to keep Caracas so that they can beat the Emrakul. So we have to attack them. Yeah. Well, we didn't draw Llanowar Elves anyways. So I guess it doesn't really matter. No, they're going to keep both of their lethal creatures. And then they're going to kill us. Alright. GG. Channel Emrakul has, like, never been good enough. All of our opponents have had a way to deal with Channel Emrakul. We can Brain Maggot. Our opponent has multiple counter spells and big game wreckers here. So Brain Maggot seems even a little bit more reasonable than our Force of Will opponent. Then what are we cutting? I think Bribery still has a shot to be pretty good. Upheaval, I think, is maybe the most questionable card. Yeah, Channel Emrakul costs a lot of mana. If we had Ulamog in our hand, I think we could have won that game. No, we wouldn't have won. We would have just, like, exiled... We would have exiled Caracas, actually, yeah. Exile Caracas and... No, we could leave Jace. Exile Caracas and Colonnade? Or maybe we exile Caracas and Riftwing Cloudskate, just in case. How does Jace seem? Like, it's a blue mirror, so Jace should be good. It did cost our opponent a counterspell. So maybe we cut Jace, or I'm sorry, we keep Jace and we cut Upheaval. I think Jace is slightly stronger. Yeah, it would also have 5 more life points, which would be huge, for sure. I wouldn't get the extra turn, but I'd be able to exile Caracas and Colonnade. And then my opponent couldn't really Armageddon, because I would have a bigger creature than them. Let's cut Upheaval. I think Brain Maggot is going to be slightly stronger. I also like Brain Maggot in the sideboard because opponents are going to board out Creature Hate most likely. We're going to play first. We've got 2 Tutors, 1 green mana, and an Ulamog. This hand's definitely a keep. We also have Bazaar of Baghdad. This deck's pretty insane. Let's lead with Temple. Our Scry is a Taiga. I think we want Taiga. Let's keep it on top. That's a green source. Grain source is half the battle. I would love my opponent to play Caracas so that I can exile Caracas with Ulamog. Ooh, Thoughtseize. Alright, this hand's Thoughtseize proof, luckily. This hand is super, super Thoughtseize proof. We have 2 tutors. The most powerful card in my hand. Nah, I mean, Demonic Tutor's the most powerful card in my hand. My opponent just has to take Demonic Tutor here. They might even take Ulamog because they already know that either of these tutors can get Channel. So I could see them taking Ulamog, and then we will just be Demonic Tutoring for Makeshift Mannequin and reanimating that, I believe. This is quite the hand, though. I don't think I've ever had a bigger shit-eating grin on my face while getting Thoughtseize before. Sometimes, though, like, your opponent Thoughtseizes you or Gitaxian probes you. Alright, they do go for the Demonic Tutor. That is A-okay. We can Imperial Seal here. They're going to know that we're getting Channel and playing an Ulamog next turn, but I don't think that there's much that they can do about that. We're actually going to be casting Ulamog, so yeah, that's going to be pretty... It's going to be a pretty big game from our opponent here. We could hide the Taiga so that they don't know that we have double green, which would just mean we play Bazaar here. I don't hate that. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. My opponent won't have Counterspell mana. Just take a look at what else we have. Yeah, nothing else. Nothing else nearly that good. We'll take Channel. We'll play Bazaar. And this even allows us to loot with the Channel. If we can loot into a Karn, we can play the Karn as well. Alright, we're going to be able to take out both of my opponent's lands here then. And then we really just have to watch for Caracas. I might actually take out Jace Blue Source so that my opponent can't draw into Caracas. Yeah, this deck is pretty crazy. So we go Bazaar. If we draw 2 cards, we can discard Bribery, Orzhov Signet, and one of the 2 cards we draw, and then we get to play Karn along with Ulamog. So let's do that. Let's grab a Karn. Alright, we don't hit Karn, but let's discard Island Orzhov Signet, I believe. Yeah. Oh, we have to discard 3 cards. Let's also ship Bribery. And then we're going to Channel. And my opponent knows what's up here. It's going to be Ulamog. My opponent has a Caracas. It's a little bit awkward. But if they don't have a Caracas, we won't give them the time to find one. And we will hopefully win the game in short order here. Ulamog only has to attack twice. Yeah, I'd rather just have the island than keep the Bribery and discard all of our islands here. And let's F6. What do you got, guy? No Caracas one time. No Caracas. Come on, baby. No Caracas one time. Fuck! They have the Caracas. Alright. Well, if they ever tap the Caracas, we get to hit them with, I was going to say the Corpse Dance, but the Makeshift Mannequin end of turn should still work. We are going to have to keep some cards in our hand to be able to use Bazaar, though. Yeah, no Justice in the world. Oh, great. So now our Makeshift Mannequin is really difficult to cast here, too. Okay. So I could end step Bazaar and then untap and draw Urborg, makeshift mannequin it, but then I have to sacrifice it to Caracas, so that doesn't work. There's Emrakul. Emrakul is interesting because shuffling Demonic Tutor and Imperial Seal into the deck is actually pretty okay. I think I just want to wait a few more turns, hopefully not die, and hopefully my opponent will tap out for like a 6-drop, and then I Caracas. Alright, they're playing Jite. That means we can only take 2 more hits. What does Mystical Tutor even get? Gets like... yeah, not much. Take a quick look, see what Mystical Tutor can get. And get the Corpse Dance, which is haste. But my opponent's not going to... my opponent's not going to fall for that one. But it could be relevant because we... the problem is once my opponent sees the Corpse Dance, there's no way they're ever tapping Caracas. Well, we have an out. If my opponent simply taps Caracas here, we can win. Otherwise, I don't think we can. I also have to draw the land now. Yeah, I need to hit more land drops. We don't have any kill spells. We did not draft any kill spells. I need to Bazaar because I need to hit a land here so that I can actually play my cards. Bring to Light's uncastable. Makeshift Mannequin is also uncastable. And Ulamog is just as good in the graveyard. Yeah, but I need to Emrakul. The thing is, though, I need to play my land before I activate my Bazaar next turn. Lunar Core doesn't do anything because it just dies to Umezawa's Jite, which doesn't even buy us more time. Maybe Bring to Light's relevant. No, we'll discard Bring to Light, Looter, and Ulamagi. The only way that was wrong is if I wanted to reshuffle on any of these cards. No, I don't think we do. So what do I have to do? I think I just have to get lucky. I think I have to draw a land, play it. All of this while also hoping that my opponent taps their Caracas. Yeah, my opponent's not going to tap their Caracas, so that's going to be the end of it here. They have to imagine that I also reanimate my creatures with the fact that they've seen the Bazaar. Yeah, it's super unlucky. My opponent just had the Caracas in their opening hand. So yeah, we take 2 here, go down to 4. My opponent has lethal next turn. Alright, let's take one last look in the deck. I don't think there's anything that could possibly get us out of here. Corpse Dance, Upheaval, Mind Twist. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Alrighty. That is it then. That's all she wrote. We'll just die. If we hit a land, I am going to go for it. There's a chance my opponent just concedes to Emrakul, like we said. That could always happen. So we need to draw a land, and then we need to Bazaar into Corpse Dance. There's the land. Alright, if we can Bazaar into Corpse Dance, and my opponent F6'd, or doesn't realize that they can Caracas Emrakul. Because some people just think Emrakul's got protection from everything. Alright, we didn't hit the Corpse Dance. We can't play Makeshift Mannequin. So let's discard Emrakul, Makeshift Mannequin, Mystical Tutor. Replay Boros Charm. Oh, paying one more. And then conceding the game to my opponents. That was a very good game, though. Very fun deck. And we didn't quite get there. I don't know what my play points are doing, hiding out in the corner here. Hey, play points, can I have you? Nope. Alright, looks like I'll never get these play points either for winning. But still a real sweet games there. Caracas did us in, and that's going to be it for me for the stream today. I will be back and doing some more cube drafts tomorrow, and I'll probably be drafting the exact same thing. This just seems to be the archetype that speaks to me. I've drafted it like 5 times now, and I keep just trying to reanimate Emrakul. So thank you guys very much for watching. The full broadcast from today will be on my YouTube page. You can check that out in the panel below the stream. And if you are watching on YouTube, feel free to check out the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/NoLuxGiven. Thank you guys very much for watching. And thank you also to those that were chatting along. Looks like that was mostly